Ethan pulled his coat tighter around him as he walked home from another long day at work. He didn't notice the small red kitten hiding behind a garbage bin near the alleyway. The kitten had been living on the streets for days. His fur was matted and dirty, and his little paws trembled from the cold. He hadn't eaten since the morning, when an old lady had tossed him a crust of bread. He was too young to hunt and too small to fight off the other strays. When he saw the man passing by, something inside him stirred a desperate, fading hope that maybe this person would be different. Without thinking, the kitten gathered his last bit of strength and leapt right onto Ethan's shoulder. Ethan froze in shock, feeling the sudden weight and warmth against his neck. Small claws clung tightly to his coat, and a faint, trembling sound followed a tiny, broken cry. The man turned his head slightly. The kitten was pressed against him, shaking, his eyes half-closed and full of tears. Ethan could feel the rapid beat of the tiny creature's heart against his neck. "Hey, easy, little one," he whispered, gently reaching up to steady the kitten. But the kitten only held tighter, as if terrified that letting go meant being abandoned again. For a long moment, Ethan stood there under the dim light, not knowing what to do. He wasn't a pet person. His apartment didn't even allow animals. Yet, as he looked into the kitten's eyes, full of fear, hunger, and that fragile spark of trust, something inside him broke. He sighed softly. "All right, buddy, let's get you warm." Back at his small apartment, Ethan wrapped the kitten in a towel and set down a saucer of milk. The kitten drank desperately, then curled up in his lap and fell asleep almost instantly, still trembling in his dreams. Ethan sat there in silence, watching the tiny chest rise and fall. Days passed, then weeks. The kitten, whom Ethan named Rusty, began to change. His fur became soft and bright again, his eyes clear and full of life. He followed Ethan everywhere, climbing onto his shoulder whenever he could, just like that first night. One evening, while watching the rain outside, Ethan realized something he hadn't expected. The little red kitten hadn't just been saved, he had saved him too. 4 months, Ethan had been living in quiet loneliness after losing someone dear to him. The silence of his apartment had felt unbearable. But now, there was life again, soft purring, tiny footsteps, and warmth where there had been only emptiness. Rusty never left his shoulder when Ethan came home. He always greeted him at the door, eyes shining with trust.